Hi, also, this is John Borelli with the Plan B Club. I am the lead developer with the Plan B Club, and this is going to be just a short video going over lead scoring and how to set it up and what it means, and aka the flames in Infusionsoft. So lead scoring can be defined. You can actually pinpoint the metrics and whatnot, but you can define lead scoring to increment or decrement based on certain activities. So, as an example, if you go to CRM settings, and then you will have scores. If you go to that, you will see that there are the options to set lead scoring up based on a number of criteria. So I'll get back to this part here in a moment, but the first thing to understand is that you can set up additional triggers to increase lead scoring or to decrease them. So you'll see when somebody opens an email, when a web form is submitted, when there's a link that's clicked, or decrease an email when they unsubscribe, decrease the value when they unsubscribe. So you have some different pieces of information here to work with. You start out, of course, with the contacts. That's always the case, but then you have either activities or tags. So if you have, for example, if you set up the stage goal moves, the goal in Campaign Builder for stage moves, and trigger a tag based on that, then you can use that to measure lead score as well. So tags have a great many uses. You can use tags to trigger notifying or representing an email open on a contact, that kind of thing. So there are a number of different ways to use tags, but there's activities, and that probably is the most common one, but don't forget or don't underestimate the value of tags in this. And then contains or doesn't contain, and then you put your search criteria for, or your trigger criteria here. Now, here's an important thing to keep note of. You can decide how many points that means. Now, that won't mean so much until we get back up to this other part here at the top, but you can determine that if somebody opens an email, it's a 1. Well, that's fairly common activity, so we only count it as 1. But if they click through that link in an email, I could have a tag raised for them clicking that link. That could be 1. Or I could go to web form submission. They actually submit a web form that link led to. For example, I could say, okay, add 2 points to the lead score. And clicking a link, of course, same kind of thing. But what if they unsubscribe? Oh, well, okay, that means that they showed a lack of interest. Let's put a -1. And so you can continue to build based on what your activity will be. Once you have that and you see what the overall potential for scoring is, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be 50. You could have 20 different items in here that could potentially add up to 50 points. Then you can decide and more easily determine the metric for the flames. So you're always going to have 5 flames, but the question is, how many points before you increment to the next flame? I can make this 10 or 20, and then in which case, if this was 20, for example, or let's do a quicker and easier 10, say if I made it 10, okay, every 10 points that somebody in the positive is added to, they will go up 1 flame. So in order to be 1 flame, they have to get 10 points. In order to be 2 flames, 20, 30, 40, and 50. And then they want to, you can even add in the fact that you can trigger updating activity based on where they're at. Okay. Now, this works very well and is useful if you know how you set it up, but let's add one more thing to the mix. I'm going to go into Campaign Builder here, and we're going to show you how this is useful because we use lead scoring. And in fact, and actually, I'll just go into one and show you. So we'll go to the sandbox one that I use here for testing, and we'll show you when, as I mentioned in Campaign Builder, you can trigger based on opportunity stage moves and then raise a tag, okay, which is the same as a tag goal. Or there is actual lead score achieved. So if you go here this acts just like a tag entering a campaign. So when you raise a tag to enter the campaign, then you're triggering the campaign to begin. Well, you can have the same thing happen here based on increases or decreases too, based on what lead score flame they have. Now remember, you're setting the lead score according to the number of points that you want to use based on activities, or lose, decrement based on activities. And then you're deciding how many points each flame triggers. Each flame triggers up to moving. But keep in mind that when you do that, you're also, when you set up this goal, it's based on the flame moving up. So that's going to be heavily dependent upon how you have it set up. That being the case, this provides you a nice little metric for being able to trigger activities and targeted marketing for hot and cold leads. You can determine whether or not somebody for a period of time has been a cold lead and LTN them, or you can see that they are moving along the line really quickly and that you really want to press them with an offer or an email that has a countdown timer in it to create urgency, that kind of thing. So just some thoughts on it because the questions come up a number of times, and it's a good video to have to share when people ask. Thanks.